What's up guys, Cardog here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over the Blue Flare deck from BT-19. So with the support from BT-19, Blue Flare's got a little bit more pieces for the deck, and honestly I was playtesting with this deck and it's actually a lot of fun to play, and it's fairly similar to the old build, but there's a few new cards that make the deck a little bit more consistent. So let's get right into the deck profile. So for the Digitamas, we are running 4 of the Vengence. So Digimon lets you draw 1 on attack if you have a blue tamer on the board, which is fairly simple to do since this deck is using a lot of blue tamers. Now let's move on to the level 3s. So we're running 4 of the BT-10 Gaussmon. So this one is on deletion, you can play a blue flare level 4 Digimon from your hand without paying its cost in rest position. So you'll be able to get your Greymon out for searches, which is pretty nice. And yeah. Next we're running the new Gaussmon from BT-19. This one is on play and on deletion. You can place a blue flare card from your hand underneath one of your tamers, and then you can draw 1. So this one just lets you filter out your hand a little bit. Pretty good, just for, you know, digging your pieces. You don't really digivolve in this deck, so getting cards back in your hand is pretty good. Now for the level 4s, we're running 4 of the Greymon from BT-10. So this one is on play, look at top 4, and you can grab 2 cards with blue flare in its name, and then if you have Kiriha on the field, you can grab a MetalGreymon back instead from your trash. So this one just helps you build up your hand to get your pieces to do some bigger plays later on. And then the inherent ability is, when attacking, if this Digimon has blue flare in its traits and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, you can unsuspend, so you can do an extra attack. So pretty good. Alright, next we're running 3 of the Greymon from BT-19. This one has Rush, and then it also has the on deletion ability. If you have 1 or less tamers on the board, you can play a Kiriha from your hand without paying its cost, and then you can save this card afterwards. So it's pretty good. It's not quite as good as the BT-10 Greymon, but I think being able to just cheat a tamer out on deletion if you have the Kiriha in hand instead of getting it from Blazing Memory Boost, I think it's not bad. So running 3 of these. Next we are running 3 male Birdramon from BT-10. So this one is on play. If you have a Kiriha in play, you can return 1 MetalGreymon from your trash to your hand. And if you don't have a Kiriha in play, you can play 1 from your hand with a pants cost. So it's another way to cheat out your tamer. And then it has save on deletion, as well as a inherent ability of when this guy attacks, if you have your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, you can choose one of your opponent's Digimon and it cannot attack or block until the end of their next turn. So, bit of a stun. Back in the old deck, this is one of the main ways you just freeze the crap out of your opponent. And it's still useful in this deck, but there's just less, as I mentioned before, there's less decks that, or I should say, there's more decks that go wide and can ignore kind of your conditions now. So, next we are running 2 of the male Digimon from BT-19. This one's blocker, and on deletion you can play 1 Digimon with blue flare from its traits under one of your tamers, and then you can save 1, and then the inherit is blocker. So mainly this one is here for the blocker inherit. The other abilities aren't super notable, but it's a male Digimon that we can use. So, and last but not least, for the level 4s, we are running 2 of the male Digimon from EX4. This one's on play. One of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level gains when attacking, lose 2 memory, and then on deletion you can save 1, and then the inherit is jamming, which is pretty good because there's kind of a lot of beefy boys in security that you can find, and having jamming is pretty good. If you don't like the ratios for this, you can kind of adjust it. If you don't like one of them, you can cut them out and then just one more of each of the other ones. So it's pretty flexible. Now on to level 5s, which is kind of like your main source of attacking. So we have 4 of the BT-19 MetalGreymon. So this one is material save 2, and then on play you can gain rush, and then on attack you can Digivolve one on your opponent's Digimon, and then this Digimon may Digivolve into a blue flare trait card from underneath one of your Tamers without paying its cost. So we have actually quite a few targets to Digivolve into, which we'll go over later. But yeah, the inherent ability is, at the end of attack, you can play one of your level 4 or lower cards with blue flare in its traits underneath any of your Tamers without paying its cost. So you can use this in conjunction with your Rush Greymon to do an extra attack, which is pretty amazeballs. So, yep. Next, we're running 3 of the MetalGreymon from BT-10. So this one is Material Save 2, and then on play, this Digimon gains Rush for the turn, and then if you have Digicross 3, your opponent's Digimon with a number of evolution cards equal or less than this Digimon cannot attack or block until the end of your turn. So this card just helps you stun more. It doesn't have a inherit, which makes it a little less good, but I think still being able to stun decks that go wide is pretty nice. Especially those Talmon loops and whatnot. So we're running 3 of those, and then we're also running 2 of the MetalGreymon from EX4. So this one is on play, gains Rush, and then if Digicrossing, you can choose 2 evolution cards from underneath one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can trash them. So mainly this card is here for the trashing source ability, because if you trash an ace, you can gain memory back, which is pretty nice. But the inherit is not useful in this deck because we're not running Gray's Nightmon. But this also has the Material Save 2. So running 2 of those. This ability will come in pretty handy against a few matchups that keep their ace Digimon in their source. So you can kind of ruin their day like that. It also is also pretty good against tower decks that rely on their inherits. So yeah. Next, we are going to be running 2 of the Cyber Launcher MetalGreymons. So this one has Armor Purge, and then on play and on evolution, you can play a Digimon with blue flare in its trait from underneath one of your Tamers underneath the bottom of this card's source, and then you can return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to the bottom of the opponent's deck. And then if you have Cyberdramon in its evolution source, you can return to level 4 as well. So the main reason we're running this deck is to go against Floodgates. So you're using this to, if you Digivolve on top of your MetalGreymon, you can bounce the Floodgate. And then the second part lets you counter against a Rush decks. If you have the Cyberdramon, you can bounce at level 4 so that it can ace into level 5. So that's pretty good as well. So we're running 1 of the Cyberdramon just for that case, because you can tuck this in underneath one of your Tamers for the memory, because we're running the Kirihas that do that. And then you can keep these in your source, because this is a target for evolution as well. If you do Digivolve into the new MetalGreymon, you can Digivolve into this one, because this one does have a level 5 evolution requirement. So you can go into that. This is pretty good. And then for the level 6s, we're running 3 of the Greymon from BT-19. So this one, on play and on evolution, you can Digivolve 2. Then if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon on the board, you can return one of their level 4s to the hand. And on deletion, you can play a blue flare or cross hard Digimon. That's 5 costs or less underneath one of your Tamers with the paying its cost. So again, you can combine this with the Rush Greymon to do an extra attack, which is pretty nice. And then you can save, so you can reuse this later on. And for the inherit ability, it's 2000, but we're not running any level 7s in this deck. For this slot, you can actually run the Blitz Omnimon if you want for this slot. I'm running the Greymon instead, just because it is searchable and it is more flavorful to this deck. I do like running decks that are more thematic. So running the Greymon from BT-11. So this one is on evolution. You can suspend this Digimon, and then if you have blue flare or cross hearts and its traits in this card's source, then you can, and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, you can gain 2 memory. And then on deletion, you can save, and then you can place a Greymon and male Virtualmon from underneath your trash. to one of your Tamers with general traits. So this is also pretty good just for reusing your pieces. But all in all, if your opponent does have 2 Digimon on board, you're pretty much evolving into this one for free and you get extra attack. So for this one, you usually keep this in your hand because you want to use this for extra attacks. This one you can put underneath your Tamers because you can use the MetalGreymon to evolve into this from your source, evolution from your Tamer source. So yeah. And then for the Tamers, we're actually running 2 of the Kiriha from BT-10. This one's a setter. And they all have the ability to let you digicross underneath with cards underneath your Tamers. We're also running 2 of the Kiriha from BT-19. This one lets you gain 1 memory by putting a blue flare card from your hand underneath one of your Tamers. So you'll be able to put your combo pieces as well as gaining memories. So it's pretty good. And then we're also running the Kiriha Nene. This one you can choose not to run if you want. You can kind of run more of these if you want. But I feel like getting a potentially more memory is better. Just because you gain the extra memory if there's 2 Digimon on the board. So it counts as one on your opponent's field and 1 on your field, and it's already 2. So it's pretty easy to get. And this one does count as a blue flare card as well as a Kiriha card. So not bad. And last but not least, we're also running 2 of the Taiki, Kiriha, and Nene cards. This one is not searchable with the... you cannot cheat this out with the Blazing Memory Boost. But I do like the fact that you get a draw if you do tuck underneath at the start of your main phase. So not only do you get a memory, which is what this card helps you do, but you also get a draw. So I think that draw actually helps you out digging out for combo pieces or just keeping up steam, because there are times when you don't have enough steam, like you don't have enough MetalGreymons in your hand to continue your plays, and so the draws do actually help. And then last but not least, we are running 4 of the Blazing Memory Boost. We're running this just because it's one of the best consistency boosters in the game right now. Still, I think. It is 5 cost, but it lets you reveal top 6 and add 2 blue flares and 2 blue flare cards back to your hand. And then you can also play a Kiriha if you find one. So it's pretty amazing. So I'm running 4 of those, and we're not running any disruption cards, but you can run there's a lot of options that you can run if you do feel like those are useful. Some people might also like running the red Greymon with the security check in this deck, but since most of the newer MetalGreymons require you to digicross a blue Greymon, it makes it less good. So if you're running 4 of the old MetalGreymon, I think you can consider running 1 or 2 of the security check Greymons. But that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've had so much fun playing with this deck. Remind me of the good old days when Blue Flare was stonks. It's still got potential now, I think. It still has pretty good matchups, but it's also got some pretty bad matchups. So, I don't think it has proper time to shine just yet. But I do really like the support from BT-19. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. But this is Card Haku, and I'll see you guys next time.